What's up, y'all? Welcome to Nostalgic Sports. Today we are covering why the UFL should expand to Canton, Ohio. I covered Canton as one of the possible expansion cities in my four-part series, but this is an in-depth look at my case as to why Canton, Ohio deserves a UFL expansion team. Canton is located in eastern Ohio, around 60 miles from Cleveland, Ohio, and around 100 miles from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Canton has been a part of a lot of football history dating back to 1920, where the roots of the NFL are traced back, when the American Professional Football Association was founded and later became the NFL that we have today. Canton had a team in the NFL of the time, the Canton Bulldogs, and they had a lot of success before the team was disbanded in the late 1920s. I think such a historic football city would be a great addition to the UFL. Canton already has ties with modern spring football through the USFL because before the merger of the USFL and XFL, Canton, Ohio was hosting games at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium for the Pittsburgh Maulers and the New Jersey Generals, and that was used as a hub stadium for the league. They've also hosted USFL championship games at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, and it would make a great home for a UFL team. They have already showed that they are willing to work with the league by letting them use the field to play, and Tom Benson Stadium is also home to the Hall of Fame Museum, which is really cool and another added attraction of the stadium. The capacity of Tom Benson is 23,000, which I think is a really good size for a UFL team because it won't be overly big where it's hard to fill up and not too small to limit the attendance numbers. Based on average UFL attendance, I think it would work. As well as having a perfect option for a stadium, geographically, Canton makes a lot of sense. If we take a look at the map of current teams in the UFL, Canton would fit in with the current markets travel well, and they wouldn't be any harder to travel to than any of the other teams, and it wouldn't be much of an expense considering how close they are. And they're really close by the DC Defenders and Michigan Panthers for easy travel. And that would be another addition of a northern team for potentially a northern division in the future. And if there's a UFL team in Ohio and Michigan, I definitely see the die-hard college football rivalry carrying its way over to the UFL, considering the Ohio State Buckeyes versus the Michigan Wolverines is one of the best rivalries in the whole sport. It would be awesome to get a version of the game, but in a UFL setting. As well as that, Canton is close enough to Cleveland, Akron, Pittsburgh, and a lot of other surrounding areas to draw in football fans. Ohio really is a die-hard football state, having successful fan bases for the Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengals, Ohio State Buckeyes, Ohio Bobcats, Cincinnati Bearcats, and many others throughout the state. Canton's sports market is wide open, and I think the UFL can fill that void and seize the market while bringing in some of those other fans. When the USFL were using Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium, it was successful as well, and I think the attendance would be good if they were to continue operation there. Another smaller aspect that would be good is that it would be a plus being up north in a spring football league, as it won't get nearly as hot as the cities farther south geographically in the league, such as the Texas teams, and that could help them out because the weather in spring football league is definitely a factor when it's so hot, especially if you're in an outdoor stadium and not in a dome. There had been talks about the UFL expanding to Canton, and even that they had applied for trademarks on the Canton Bulldogs name, but it's currently still under trademark from back in the day by the NFL. If the UFL is able to secure the name, I like the Canton Bulldogs, which is my personal favorite for the team name, or the Ohio Bulldogs, but if not, the Canton Chaos or Canton Classics are a couple other options I saw that I like that could work. But the Canton Bulldogs, for history's sake, would be awesome for the team to make a comeback in the UFL. I know there's certain drawbacks to Canton, like the population size, and I could definitely understand the argument against it, but they were able to bring in fans though when it was just a hub field for games, when they didn't even have their own home team that was playing at the stadium. But I really think Canton would make a great home for a UFL team. With the city's prolific football history, ready-to-use stadium that has already worked with the league, and the geography with other teams that I think Canton, Ohio makes perfect sense, and I would love to see them get a team. There's definitely other good options for UFL teams in the state of Ohio that are out there, like Columbus, that I talked about in possible expansion cities. So it's not that Canton is the only Ohio option, but it's one of my favorite options in Ohio for a UFL team. And I think the league should expand there. It's definitely something the UFL higher ups are considering if they have applied for the Canton Bulldogs trademark, as I mentioned earlier. That could be a sign, but we will have to see. What do y'all think of Canton getting a UFL expansion team? They could be part of the USFL conference based on their previous USFL ties, potentially as well. There's multiple other cities I would like to cover more in depth for possible UFL expansion cities, so if you have any ideas, leave them below. I would like to hear all the suggestions y'all have. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for more UFL and other sports content coming soon.